All right, welcome back. Listen to this quote, right? She came from a war-torn country, sought shelter in the United States, and because of soft on-crime policies, she was murdered here and not in the war-torn country she came from. That's what J.D. Vance said, speaking to a crowd Wednesday in Concord, North Carolina. Isn't that a disgrace, he added? Now, I would say so, and to add insult to injury, there were plenty of young men around that could have at least come to her aid in her dying moments, or at least maybe even apprehended the perpetrator. But since the Daniel Penny case, or maybe even before in New York, all we get today are heads down, nobody's engaged. Unfortunately, we fostered this feeling about not wanting to get involved and staying out of the fray. What's it going to take to reverse that feeling, reverse that trend? We knew just the person to ask this about. Please welcome to the show, Ms. Dr. Carol Swain. Thanks, Carol, for coming on. Appreciate you taking the time. What are we going to do about getting I'd say with our men reclaiming their courage? What's happening now?
There's a breakdown in morality that's taken place. And you look at the people that were on that train with the young lady that was murdered. There were so many dynamics. I think that the race, she was the only white person, at least, that we could see on that train. And the people are just totally indifferent. They've lost compassion. But one thing, to their credit, they did not pull out their cell phones and start recording it, but it did not look like any of the ones sitting around her rendered aid. It looked like they got themselves off the train. And I don't know if it's just Daniel Penny. I think it's a racial dynamic. And again, we have lost any type of compassion and moral fiber in this country.
So, I mean, the billion-dollar question: how do we get that back? I mean, everybody, I guess, would like to think that they would have jumped in or started. I don't know what they could have done in that situation. Maybe comforted the woman and/or apprehended the perpetrator. But I wonder, how do you reverse this trend of this amorality? These people that are indifferent. I mean, that's kind of a big deal on making that reverse its course.
Well, first of all, I think the natural tendency, I would hope for most Christians, would be to try to comfort the woman. Maybe they wouldn't have tried to charge a person that had a knife. It happened so quickly. The person left after he stabbed her. But I just think that to change the morals and the people of America, it will take another great awakening. And maybe that's already started. Some people believe that Charlie Kirk's assassination or martyrdom or whatever we want to call it, that his death has ushered in a lot of seeking of God. And perhaps, we will have some type of great awakening that will reignite people's courage, their morality, their compassion for their fellow man. And we can move beyond this. But it was shameful what took place. And I don't believe that the average American would have walked past her and not render assistance. And I hate to, bring up race, but it does seem like, she was on that a train. She had a Black Lives Matter poster in her room, and people did not have the compassion they should have had for her.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just brings up, and I don't know if you know this gentleman, but he was my college football coach back at Colorado, and he quit coaching college football to start a movement called Promise Keepers. I don't know if you remember a guy by the name of Bill McCartney.
Yes,
but he was, I don't know if you liked him or not, but he instilled a lot of us and young men about standing up and being a man and doing the right thing. Number one, especially when people aren't watching, but number two, being an alpha male in a situation that calls for it and do something. Don't just stand back and let it happen. He was a fantastic mentor to me, and I just feel like we need something like that right now too.
Well, we also need more, because this person, the guy that stabbed the young lady, he had a history. He had a criminal record. He was turned out of the system by judges that allowed him to walk away from any real punishment. And then when the incident happened, the leaders made excuses. And so there's a breakdown in leadership in America. What I would like to see is black leaders and white leaders, come alongside the president, address crime. And to the extent that there's a racial dimension to it and some of the violent crime, it is, we need to be able to talk about it and then address it, not just talk it to death, but do something about it.
I agree 100%. And the time is now. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dr. Swain. You always have a great perspective on things like this. That's why we had that story just for you. I'll see you again next week, Doctor. Thank you very much for taking the time. I know you're very busy.